So this is part 2 of the test mode video, and in this video we will dive into this toolbar here at the bottom of the test mode. And if you haven't checked out the first video that explains in general what the test mode is, make sure to check it out, the link is below. So let's start with the preview option here at the bottom. If I activate this checkbox, you can see I have 4 previews that I can additionally generate. So let me generate for this demo a bleed preview and an OCR preview. And as you can see, by default, by simply selecting these checkboxes, nothing will happen. And that is because the previews need to be generated. And that is why we need to rerun the test mode by simply clicking the test button again. And then you can see here at the top, we have 2 additional tabs now, the bleed preview and the OCR preview that we have ordered in the toolbar. So the bleed preview is helpful for the generate bleed for irregular shapes fix up in order to check if the bleed has been generated correctly. So here at the bottom you have this transparency slider, so you can see the bleed area that has been identified by pdfToolbox will be highlighted in this yellow, and then I can use the slider to change the visibility of the page content. Then we also have this OCR preview, so if you use the fix up create OCR text in pdfToolbox, you will add invisible text, and that of course can be hard to debug because it's invisible. So you can use this OCR preview in order to see what invisible text pdfToolbox has added to the PDF file. Then let me just briefly explain the other 2 options here. The search text is for the quick fix search and replace text. So here you can also generate a preview where pdfToolbox will show you all the text that has been identified on a page. And then we have the shapes preview that works similar to the bleed preview, but is helpful if you have a create and apply shape fix up in order to see what shape pdfToolbox has identified or used as a reference in the fix up. What I also wanted to show you is this details view here at the bottom. So if I activate it, you can see pdfToolbox will bring up this new section where I have 3 tools. The first one is the loop tool, and you can see immediately what happens. So as soon as I hover with the mouse over my preview, you can see pdfToolbox will show me a zoomed in version of this position where my mouse is. I can also specify a scaling factor here or a zoom factor here at the bottom in order to zoom in or zoom out. So this is a really quick and precise zooming tool in order to get into details. Then we have a layer view, so if you created a new layer, or for example if you added the new generated bleed on a new layer, you can check if everything worked as expected. So you can also toggle the layer on and off to see if the bleed really has been added to this new bleed layer. And then we have the snap preview that you may know from the result window of pdfToolbox, and that is a way to see a object that has been identified by a check in an isolated way. You can also have another option to do that, and that is the hits only checkbox here at the bottom. And if I have selected that, you can see I will get another tab here at the top, and it's similar, so you also have an isolated view of the object that has been identified by the last check. Then what is probably self-explained, you also can limit the profile execution to specific pages, for example, just for the first one. So you can specify the page or a page range here. And then we have some really specific options. So let me just super briefly explain when you should test that out. So the first one, fast VDP mode, is for variable data print files, so files with a lot of PDF files, like 10,000 or more. And if you have activated, pdfToolbox will use static X objects only once, so it will only analyze it once. So processing time can be speed up quite much. Then we have the short overview faster, and that is related to this overview section here in the result. This is a default section that pdfToolbox will always generate by analyzing the complete document at the end to provide you these information. So if you just want to run some fix-ups in a process plan, for example, you can activate that in order to reduce this information and to also improve processing time. Then we have some fix-ups and checks where you can specify a custom area. And sometimes it can be hard to figure out if you have configured the correct coordinates for this custom area. So you can activate here the custom area, and then you have this orange rectangle that will visually show you where the custom area is. And then last but not least, we have the log profile execution. That is a little bit more complex, but if you are using process plans with a lot of steps and you want to debug them, you can activate this in order to get intermediate processing results in order to debug the different results of the different steps. And let me close maybe with one short tip that I can show you in this context, and that is if you are in this profile window and you want to run a process plan or profile directly into test mode, you can use the Option key on Mac or the Alt key on Windows in order, as you can see, the edit button will now change to a test button, and if I click now test, you can see pdfToolbox will immediately run test mode from the profile window.